Welcome back, MTG Joe here, and we are going to be testing out a Jund Monsters list. I finished top 1200, finished 600 and change for the month of January, so we'll be playing in the MIQ, which is standard format. So Jund is the color combination of black, red, and green, and monsters typically refers to the archetype of big undercosted fatties, typically with haste, or just, we're going to smash, basically. So really what we're trying to do is ramp or get ahead in terms of mana and play undercosted big creatures and try to kill our opponent as quick as possible. The way we're doing that is with stuff like Bone Crusher Giant, which happens to be removal, but also is just a 4/3 for 3. So big body there. You have Questing Beast as a haste creature, 4/4. You have Goldspan Dragon, which can make counters to help you ramp further, but also just a haste evasive creature. And then you have Vorinclex, which is the big daddy of them all, coming down as a 6/6 with trample and haste, and then also kind of messing with your opponent's sagas as well as interacting with some of our planeswalkers as well. So kind of the deck is 3 components. You have your removal, you have your ramp, get ahead, and then you have your kind of beaters. So we kind of highlighted the beaters, the way we get ahead. We're playing Wolf Willow Haven. I tried Lotus Cobra at first, and while Lotus Cobra does allow you to have more explosive turns, it is very susceptible to a lot of removal in the format. So you play it out on 2 and it often dies. At least like this guarantees you to go from 2 to 4. And then we also have Llanowar Visionary, which helps you both with card draw and helps you go from 3 to 5. Really what we want to try to do as much as possible is those 2 turns in the deck. Go from 2 to 4 or 3 to 5. And the reason we want to do that is because when we go to 4, we can go to like a turn 3 Questing Beast, turn 3 Garruk, or turn 3 Binding of the Old Gods, which allows us to destroy one of our opponent's permanents, as well as ramps us later in the game as well. This also has a cool interaction because some of our creatures have trample. How trample works with Death Touch is it only has to deal 1 point of damage to kill it, and then you're able to do the rest of the damage over in trample. If you go 3 to 5, then you get to go Llanowar Visionary into either Vivian or Goldspan Dragon, which is a nice little ramp in that regard there. With Goldspan, you can actually go from 5 to 7 mana that following turn with the treasure token, and that lets you play Valky or the Tybalt side. So with Tybalt, you can play it out, and that's kind of one of our card advantage engines as well, which is really cool. Early game, you can use, I usually use like a Valky sometimes early just to kind of get information. If we're playing against control, you want to know what you want to play around. So it's been pretty useful there. Then just piecing it together, we have 5 pieces of removal, Eliminate and Heartless Act, to coincide with our Bone Crusher Giant. So we are playing 9 pieces of removal that are like instant speed, and then you have the Binding of the Old Gods as well. And then if you could count Shatterskull Smashing as well as some piece of removal. Other than that, the only kind of unique thing with the mana base, we are playing some Trinomes that are slightly off color. There is no Jund Trinome, so we are playing the Temur and the Abzan Trinome. This allows you to fetch for a forest, so you can fetch for Trinomes here. So that effectively lets you get a dual land in that regard. So that's pretty much the main board. In terms of sideboard, I haven't played the matchup yet. I'm 5-0 with this thus far. I've played quite a bit of Yorion decks thus far. So we have the Duresses that come in for anything like the Genesis Ultimatum decks, the Yorion piles, against Blue-Red Flash. My intent is to bring these in. For like rogues or any kind of control-y decks, we have Skyclave Shade, just a recursive threat that comes in, pairing that with Phoenix of Ash. With Phoenix of Ash, I tried the Ox first, but we don't put that many cards in our graveyard, so outside of the rogues matchup, I'd rather have Phoenix of Ash because it's easier to escape back from the graveyard. Scorching Dragonfire is just a concession to rogues or just more aggressive early decks. Ooze is for the graveyard decks. Wilt is for like Yorion piles. We have the Phoenix of Ash, like I mentioned. Klothys is for any sort of graveyard deck or control decks to kind of eat away that way. And then a Cronin War is for like the stompy kind of mirror style strategies. One thing that I may consider trying out is Nylea in the place. Garruk Spin, okay. Nylea kind of helps with that ramp element. It's indestructible, and sometimes what I find with this deck is you get through your threats, but then you run out of gas. This allows you to pump extra mana to just get some card potential card advantage. So that's something I want to try out. So when we're going to be playing these games, what we want to see is would we rather play Nylea or would we rather have Garruk in those situations? So let's run this through. I think I'm plat 2. Yeah, plat 2. So we're almost at diamond. And let's run some matches, see how it goes. No, we do not want to play. So like I said, we are currently 5-0 at the list as that runs up. So we want to see if we can keep that going on. For those of you who have never seen that tracker thing, that's Untapped GG. It pulls up like your deck stats, stuff like that. I always have the link in my video description, so it's free to use. I highly suggest it if you're not using it. Because we have the ramp, I think we keep this. Opponent's also first. So opponent's same tier as us right now. So Fabled usually could indicate a couple things. Could be rogues, could be a Yorion pile. Snow covered. This could be the Is It Flash deck. Nope, just Yorion. Or Dimir control. Our hand's not great against Dimir control. I'm gonna lead this on a so typically I will put this onto a basic land so that way Field of Ruin can't hit it. Hey Makivo. Yeah, we're playing standard right now. I need to find a deck for MIQ. So before I just I've liked this monsters list. I just want to see if it's something that I can consistently win with. If not, we'll test out the Is It deck. Okay, so Glimpse of Freedom. Needed to hit a land there. We're running 25 lines with a bunch of ramp. Okay, so opponent judged right there. How's it going for yourself, Makiva? Okay, cool. Well, let's just keep running out threats. They could only have so many counters. It's 2 Saw Cummings in your top 12 cards. Not bad, opponent. Our deck gets hit pretty hard by Disdainful Stroke. They're down 1 blue. I think I want to try to get this out. Jeez. They eventually need to run out of counters, right? Essence Scatter. I'm doing this because this could potentially generate 2 mana for us. So if it resolves at the very least... Okay, they go Lockmere. Not too worried about Lockmere. Should be able to race this. Is this Ashiok? Gravenlore. That's actually pretty good, because if I can kill that, I'll be happy. The snow deck is really the Is It Flash deck. So I can, if I do this, I can draw out a counter. I think we do this. And then we'll just take out Lockmere Serpent. have it all. Okay, so Ugin's bad here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need to draw land. Hey, Bag of Pain, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. So we took a bit of a risk there. I think it was the right line. Because Questing Beast can trade here, so I think we do that. They could sack to attack here, but leaves them pretty close to dead with this. Opponent has seen, they've played 20 cards, and they've hit 4 counters, 1 in 5 cards. Okay, it's an aggressive line. Okay. Want to see if we can tap them down here. Wish we had a Bone Crusher. Like I can Valky here. Think we just need to go Binding and hope, because they're just going to make this unblockable. They could have priority because of this. They could have priority because of this. If we had one more land, we would have just jammed this. One, two, three. Okay, I'm just gonna pass the turn here. They need to answer my board. Lockmir's 6 to cast. Great Shark. Okay, Kill Spell gets it for them. Looks like they have it. Okay, so Serpent, Great Shark. So Shades, Duresses, Clothis, Ooze, Phoenix of Ash. Cut the top end. Trim a Binding. Trim the Eliminates. So basically I just want to lower my curve here. Don't need those. And then I could probably get rid of a Visionary here. So basically what I want to do here is just become the aggressive deck. They've shown a lot of counters, so we want to get under their counters. I think that was right, though, either way. We couldn't really... They had, like, 7 cards in hand at one point. If we look back, our sequencing... They use their Serpent well. The unblockable was the right call. They didn't play defensive. Even if playing Valky there, we didn't survive because they counter the Valky. We don't know, like, let's play as though we don't know what colors we need this right now. So it's going to be Bone Crusher, Stomp. Actually, we're just going to go aggressive. I'll just hardcast Bone Crusher. The 2 points of damage isn't worth it. So you usually want to attack first in case they kill it. And what you want to try to do against black decks, if possible, is play around Extinction Event. Disruption. That one hurts. When you get hit by this, it feels bad. They probably have counters. We're eventually just going to have to run into said counters. Okay, they foretell. So a little awkward because I have to play the land first before playing Phoenix of Ash. So it's likely a counter. I'd rather they counter this Phoenix. Because with the Phoenix, I can just pump mana into it. They've used 5 minutes more clock. That's fine. Counter my recursive threat. Okay, so here... Vivian is objectively better. But they showed Goldspan or the Shark. So here they have to tap out so I can attack and clean without getting the Shark to block. Tell me they have another Jawari Disruption. Okay, negate. Okay. So land's good here. Perfect. So this is interesting. I don't think we want to escape our thing just yet, so let's go Black Source here. And then kick it. The risk of kicking it here is I don't get the binding. Yeah, I should have just done it for 2. Because I could have binding of the Old Gods it. That feels bad. So I'm hoping they counter this, or at least I can see in their hand. Okay, 2 Graven Lores and Extinction Event. So it's not great. They're gonna draw. There's not huge like counterspell decks, but they have Extinction Event anyways, so it's not like game winning. So here they're going to be able to scry 3. Hey Vanyan, how's it going? So we're going to get a land here. Triple bottom's nice. We're down 1-0 so far. Probably want another red. So I can go dragon here. think I like. They don't know we have this land in hand, so if I could get an attack in. Another great shark. Never fail to have it. So I'm going to wait on this land. Valky will get Death Touch next turn, and I don't want to play this into Extinction Event. Yeah, Goldspan's sick. So the reason I didn't want to play out this was it gets hit by Extinction Event. I'm just going to take 5 here. Duress is fantastic. Can I see what you got there, opponent? This might be my first loss. 5-0 with the list so far. Gravenlore. I think opponent's version of blue-black is actually a lot better than some of these Yorion piles. It's a lot more proactive with the sharks. And this Gravenlore is actually providing a pretty big value. Like looking 5 cards deep. Okay, it's got double Extinction Event opt. So the question is, I think we got to get Shark off the battlefield while we still can. They can try to opt here for a negate. Tell me they drew negate. Nope. Again, I'm just going to hold this land. We can't play out our Skyclave anyways. Phoenix comes back next turn. And then this is another way to trigger the landfall. So this is a matchup where I do kind of want that Vivian. Can you stop topping, opponent? If we could get Vivian, or not Vivian, Nylea. I think we're going to switch Garruk to Nylea. Like if we had this down and we could just pump mana into it. Binding being very good here. They're probably saving this for the Phoenix of Ash. Could be either Counterspell or Alrund's Epiphany. Only seen Counterspell thus far. Like, we're running out of lands in our deck. They'll probably bring like Cling to Dust in if we go to game 3. If they counter here, I just play the land and I could escape it again. Oh, this is only till end of turn. You know what? Oh no, we can do I have a red source left in my library? I have 1 mountain. Perfect. Because if they extinction event here, then Shark has to also get exiled. And this is why I've liked Phoenix over Ox, just because Ox requires 8 cards. And this plays around Heartless Act now. Like an extinction event. I feel like we've seen how many ops? Yeah, Vorinclex feels bad when they're going to be holding Sharks. If they all runs Epiphany, then I have this to block, but probably dead anyways. Okay, Heartless Axe, not bad. So that's lethal as it stands. Make them react. Okay, that's fine. So I can shade this turn. Okay, so I think we wait for them to tap out, or we do it on their upkeep and we Heartless Act them. Let them have one less card. Shit. Well, if they had the second one, that's basically... And they had Saw coming. Doesn't matter. Alright, 5-1. Opponent had it all. I think let's try with Nylea here. The Sharks are really problematic for us. So Nylea makes our creatures cost 1 less, and for 3 mana we can reveal top card of our library if it's a creature put into our hand. Otherwise we can choose to mill it. Let's go. So we're 6 games with this deck thus far. First one on stream. We'll run it for 10 and then we'll probably try out the Is It deck. Kill on 2 ramp. Let's try it out. Katria. No, I don't think Tulski's good. It gets hit by Extinction Event. It gets hit by Skyclave Apparition. It's probably going to get stomped. Guess we could have waited that turn. It's an interesting turn because I can Heartless Act, hold up Stomp. I could Questing Beast, but then they get the Goldspan Dragon. Goldspan Dragon on my own. Play Draw here is really annoying. So I think we are... just Stomp, Bone. I think it's questing beast this turn. Let's get a red source here. If they want, they can trade. Okay, no trade here. It's gonna be Binding of the Old Gods, which I really don't care if they Binding Hiss. Like, I'd rather they go Binding over... Nope. We're still winning this race. Because I can Heartless Act Goldspan Dragon. And I have the fact that mine plays defense. So we're kind of in a pseudo mirror here. So they get the token. Even if they have cleave, it doesn't kill me here. If they have to double Bone Crusher here, that's still fine. Binding's annoying. So, question is here, do I just go set up my own double Bone Crusher turn? I think I like that, just in case they go like Haster. I can't really target these, but this protects me if they just go Goldspan Dragon. Hey Vanyan, there's too much risk with DMC, so I usually don't. Hey, that's a good draw. It's a good draw. Also, then I can't use it on YouTube. So that also kind of feels bad afterwards. They get Death Touch. I can set it for VODs muted, but then I can't pull it properly for YouTube. I usually pull the VODs for YouTube. That way I don't have to record and do that. I just leverage off the Twitch VODs. Shit, I'm one short. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Feels sad, man. Here, let's go Vigilance again. So I can attack. I think we gotta let him have it here. So generally, like if this was Heartless Act over drawing Eliminate, You know what? I should have done these with reach. That's dumb. The vigilance doesn't matter. Because if they have gold span, they could hit this for 4. And we know we're drawing eliminate. Fudge. Okay, so they're going up to Ugin in their list. It's good to see, like, how they're deviating from ours. Yeah, we lost this one. They hit me for 3. I can't really deal with this Bone Crusher. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so my out here is basically drawing Vorinclex. So I have to do this to have enough mana. So we just gotta play our out here. I did the Ugin. Nope. All these removal spells would have been good early. No, Klothys isn't good here. It's basically a Cronin War in this matchup, I think. Scavenging Ooze, nah. Dragonfire doesn't really hit much here. Nightlia's fine. Valky's fine. The eliminates are pretty bad. I think the instant speed, it's hit or miss. Like the instant speed's kind of decent against like rogues and smaller decks. Lets you play. It also lets you play it after the Goldspan Dragon, so maximizing on 2 mana removal. It's just unfortunate we chained eliminate, and then Heartless Act, or if we had 1 more mana just to not give them the draw with Gargaroth. Our board looks a lot different, but played Terror out there. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, and these mirrors, like, it's really who draws their removal better. So I'd rather do Wolf Willow here. Like, we had a decision that first turn with Llanowar Visionary. We could have played the Visionary, or we could have just held up Stomp, but they were holding up the Bone Crusher anyways. So here they take this. Slightly messes us up, but not end of the world. Valky's sick. I kind of want to keep hitting lands, so this isn't really worth the Cronin Warring. Think we just wait to see what they do, because our turn's likely, if they just transform, we'll take 2 damage here. Okay, so at this point, that's more troublesome. We could get Binding, which would suck. This is Delmo's list, it looks like. Okay, so they've seen the passage. Gonna get another red source here because we have the double green. So my only concern with Devourer is you have to take off turn 3 often. So what I like about Wolf Willow, it lets you go 2 to 4. Where Devour, yes, you can play Vorinclex on turn 4, but you have to take off your turn 3. So my turn 3 becomes my turn 4 play. Yeah, that's what I was tad worried about. And we just drew land here, which isn't great. So gold span, it kind of suck, but we can steal it. So I kind of want them to Gargaroth here. Ah, come on. Well, opponents had a good sequence of draws. We've subsequently not. Drawn a lot of lands. Yeah. Can't do much. Like here we're just flooding out. 25 lands is where you need to be at with this deck. We've drawn 10 lands. They've drawn their bindings. Yeah, this is... I don't have a catch up at this point. I can kill this, but they've gained enough card advantage. I don't like Gargaroth here because then it clumps up your 5-mana slot. It does provide card advantage. So it's really, do we want Vivian or do we want Gargaroth? Makes us weaker to sweepers. So maybe we just play one Gargaroth. I like Vivian for the card advantage. Let's give this one more, and then we'll switch to Izzet if need be. It's not a... Gargaroth's great if you untap with it. It just dies to a lot of stuff. Also gets hit with Extinction Event. And this hand's not doing anything. Okay, we'll keep this hand. So like here, I think we keep Gargaroth. Nah, you know what? I'm going to put Gargaroth back. If we are playing against control, this is better, and then it doesn't open us up to Extinction Event. I feel like I've played this person before, and they're on Dimir. Yeah, I'm going to run the Izzet Flash deck after this one. I already ran Mono White, so I want to just try out... I haven't played any blue-based decks. I basically either want to play a Vorinclex deck or Goldspan Dragon deck. Okay, so they're on... They on that stuff. Alright, so let's try to steal a Bone Crusher Giant. Okay. Scatter, negate, stroke. So we're just not resolving anything. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, I feel like this deck's going to be very popular. Well, let's just throw things out. Nothing's going to resolve, but... Let's let him counter. It's kind of what I like about Valky. Even when it doesn't hit, like, knowing the information of what's in our opponent's hand has been useful. Yeah, we're kind of in an awkward spot because like we need lands to be able to cast our threats, but we know they have a lot of counters, so we're not going to do much. And we don't have red mana. I might if we miss a land, I'm gonna concede and not show any more information. Because like we're not gonna beat them at this point. Got a land. Because the problem is if they go dragon, I'm just gonna hard cast giant. Gets around these two known counters. Yeah, if they draw a dragon, then we'll concede. So they have something. They wouldn't be given priority otherwise. So either... Actually, they have Fabled Passage, so they have to respond. In this deck, you're frequently just casting Bone Crusher. Like, against this deck, there's no real targets other than Brazen Borrower. Which you're not going to hold it up when you see a negate in hand. Okay. Well, they've wasted 2 turns without using mana. 6 power on board. Show me dragon. Okay, dragon. We're still racing. So they have the stroke. I don't... We're still winning this race. We just passed the turn. They could stomp here. Because I want them to use mana on their turn. It's not mana efficient by any means, but if I could get like another Bone Crusher or something small. Duress here is very good. Okay, so we're going to kill this now. They're going to negate it. Problem is like a lot of our good threats, like Heartless is probably the best bet. So we've seen a scatter and a negate, and they have Disdainful. They play 2 of each. Second dragon. This could be Stomp Bone Crusher. Shatter Skull Smashing. Oh, Banefire would be sweet, even in this deck, because you could generate a lot of mana. Uncounterable. Yeah, we're in a tough spot. So let's glimpse into my Eternities. I think here... Like, I know this is getting countered. So I'd rather get Vivian down because it can make multiple blockers here. If they were at 4, then I would play it the other way. Or Behold the Multiverse. This can provide more card advantage. Faceless Haven's a little annoying. They can do Brazen Borrower as well. We haven't seen any of those at this point. There's Questing Beasts. This leaves us dead to another dragon, but we're dead to another dragon anyways. Yeah, this card's really good. Doesn't matter at this point. Alright, so Duress, these Shades, Clothis. Don't like Vorinclex. Clothis is basically just like a tempo kind of play. Phoenix of Ash ain't bad. So they're going to have Sharks. So this has enough targets. We can get rid of the Wolf Willows. Gargaroth's fine here. Questing Beast is fine. Trim 2 Visionaries. Bit disappointed in the list. We were doing really well up to this point. 5-0 until what's looking like 5-3. Might have to go like more controlling. Problem is these tempo lists like generate a lot of value. That game we just couldn't stick anything. Like they dictated the terms of the game. Where in our deck, we want to be like the one that constantly presents answers. Like if we get a big thing to stick, we're okay, but like outside of Brazen Borrower, we'll see. See how this game goes. The reason we cut Vorinclex here is a 6 mana. They don't really do anything with counters, and getting to 6 mana just really isn't a great option against Disdainful Stroke. They could be playing up to 4. They'll probably bring in Soulseer if they're playing it in their list. So I normally don't. I prefer like tempo, control, answer, mid-range if I can. Okay, so they got Bone Crusher, 2 gold spends. So this is gonna feel bad. Sag. This at least cycles. Like if I can, I like playing something with a clock. I got bored with rogues. Also from a content standpoint, it's not very popular. So we're gonna get hit here. So there's a little, I need to draw something to play on this turn. Unless they just go this. The best is if they just drop this. I'd be happy. Perfect. So here, let's go red here. Like I'd rather play this. This one doesn't get hated on as easy as like rogues, in my opinion. Like you don't have to worry about the escape stuff. Also, I like playing Shark Typhoon. Actually, don't mind Phoenix of Ash here. I still love Shark Typhoon. I hated playing against 3 Fairy. I loved 3 Fairy. Okay, that's fine. We got 2 stomps out of them. Also kind of unfortunate, top 11 cards, they draw 2 stomps. So I'm doing this so I can Heartless Act ideally, force a counter potentially, and sneak down Goldspan Dragon. Oh yeah. You know how many times I tried jamming Simic Flash? The thing is, I hated Nexus, so I loved Teferi because it was like the cleanest way to just say no. One dragon down. So 5 cards in the yard. I think we're just doing this. Or no, sorry, not Necklace. I didn't mind Nexus of Fate as a singular card. I hated Wilderness Reclamation. Like, I tried like 3 or 4 times to play that deck, and I was just... It's the same with Sultai and Historic. I just don't enjoy playing it, especially the mirrors. Like, objectively speaking, everything that Sultai is a deck that I should enjoy. Like, answers and just recursive threats. But the gameplay is so boring to me. It's unfortunate, like, Mutate never really got a chance to shine. Okay. Gonna see this come down, or... Demir Mutate. Not even the Simic one with... I think it's a cool mechanic. It's just... You bring it in a set that then, or follows a set with Clover and Brazen Borrower. I could probably imagine. Drop it in the Discord. I had to shut off the links in the chat just because there were spam bops before. Okay, opponent. We get a disconnector. Phoenix obviously isn't great. Okay, if we could sneak Clothis down, it'd be pretty good. Well, I'm sandbagging this land. I should have done this pre-combat. Hopefully. Guess this is worse if they have Brazen Borrower. But then they have to decide which of these they want to Borrower. This also kind of skews the race because they're hitting for 8, so they're on a 2-turn clock. Yeah. So I should have waited on that because now I don't have the cards to escape and they get a block here. They also have Faceless Haven, which gets in here. That was bad sequencing on my part. Could also just like not draw land for one of our many steps. Shouldn't matter too much in this matchup because this deck's proactive enough. So we'll eat the dragon here. I actually miss Spectral Sailor. I think that was a very well designed 1-drop. It's kind of limited a lot of what mono blue can do. Card that was good on turn 1, but also scaled well to the late game. Okay, well, we're certainly racing now. So I'm doing this. I don't have enough devotion anyways. So my intent is to attack and then use the food to cast Gargaroth. And just hope they don't have it. They do need to flash this in. What beats us is if the last card in their hand's Frostbite. Because then they block Goldspan. Because they have Faithless Haven, so that's 12 on us. Well, I guess Frostbite still gives us the 5 mana. Show me no counter. No counter. Give me no Brazen Borrower. Tell me their last card's Brazen Borrower. Oh, come on! They literally had 3 Brazen Borrower. Opponent's drawn better than us.